Hi everyone, I'm Yuval Avidani. It's great to be here. I'm an AI builder and speaker, and today I'd like to speak about Kiro, the new development software by AWS, by Amazon, which actually starts to get people really excited. Now, I must admit that I just applied for joining the wait list, and I haven't yet got access, but I did find a video that I think will be really interesting to explore. So let's see what this Kiro is all about. Now we can see it's an IDE. We can see it looks like Cursor, like VS Code. They did something, let's say, not unusual. But the thing is, you have this ghost icon on the left-hand side that can generate the steering docks. Now this means that Kiro can understand the project and create the schema and the diagram and everything, which then being referenced during our work on the project. So this means the LLM can have context which should be structured in a good way. And this is quite nice because we are having difficulties with explaining to the AI what it should do. So they now show us an example of working. They have two modes. If you saw, we have two modes. The first one was the spec mode. The spec mode is like the plan mode on Cloud Code, which means it gets a task like this one, create a Google authentication screen or whatever. Then first it writes the plan, what it plans of doing. Then we can edit the plan just like in Cloud Code. We can say, no, don't keep going, stop, let me give you my comments, and only then keep working on it. So this is the same, but we do have the UI, which we don't have in Cloud Code. So if it's important to you to have a UI, then I assume this will be better in that way. But anyway, the idea is identical. We can see what is the task, we can see the plan, and then we can say move to next phase, which means next step would be to start executing the code in practice. Now we also see that we can add our own comments, and then we have the chat and we can select the model. If you see on the lower right hand side, let me show you. I'll click play and then I'll zoom in. We have the Claude Sonnet 4.0 with the autopilot mode, which means we can select the LLM as we expect. Nothing new here. And then the next step would be we can see the code, we can modify the code, and see which tasks has been completed. Now this looks really interesting to test, and the coolest thing is now they show us what Kiro has created, and we can see it really has a Google authentication screen, which is really nice to get from one prompt. Now we also have the vibe coding mode. If you see, there is a thing called hooks we can set up in Kiro, which are more like creating components. Like if you have a component in your UI, in your front end, and you want to do some modifications in the functionality of a component, then you can create a hook, which actually makes sense because you know how React works. We have hooks. We need to catch these hooks and do the changes. So we have this easy option, this cool feature of adding hooks really easily. And lastly, we also have the completions, as we see in here. We can, like we have in GitHub Copilot or Cursor or any other models, we have the option to write a comment within the code editor, and then the AI will auto-complete or create the tests or whatever functions or any logic we wish to, only by writing comments within specific files. Now, lastly, check out the vibe mode, which is the vibe coding mode we have here, and we have the connection to the MCP server as well. So vibe coding mode is actually just developed with AI agents, and this looks really nice. So it was a short video. I know it was a really short one, but I think that this trend that everyone talks about now about Kiro looks really interesting. Now, in terms of pricing, let's check out the website just for a second. Let me go back here. And if we'll go to Kiro's website, which is available under kiro.dev, we can see it's called the AI IDE for prototype to production. Now, if we'll go to pricing, we can see that it has a free tier coming up soon. Currently, everyone must sign in, must join the waitlist first. And we can see that the free tier gives us 50 interactions per month in the IDE, which is not that much. Now, if we will pay $19, we will get increased limit for Kiro agentic capabilities, total limit of 10,000 interactions per month. Now, if we want to compare this with other tools like, let's say, Cursor pricing, Cursor IDE, then we can see that for $20, which is $1 more, we get extended limit on agents, unlimited tab completions, background agents, blah, 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 blah. But look, it says extended limit on agents. But how much? How much? Like, what's the extended? Let's see. The expected usage within limits. So we see that the Pro subscription gives us about 225 Sonnet 4 requests. So this means, this is the median user, you can see. So this means about 225 requests, which is not that much. Now, Kiro actually gives us, in 19 requests, it gives us 1,000 interactions per month, which is way, way more than what we get with Cursor, the agentic interactions. So this is really surprising. Now, if we go to GitHub Copilot pricing, just to see what can we get, plans for GitHub Copilot. So we still have the Copilot with $10 per month, which gives us 300 requests per month, compared to, let's say, if we double this, right? If we look for Copilot Business, $19, then we still get the 300 per users per month because this is business account. However, if we want to upgrade, let's take the $39 per month, or if we have, let's say, I don't know, $20, then we should get 600 requests per month. Now, I'm not sure about this pricing tier all the way, but actually, I think that if we want to compare apples with apples, then we should look at the $39, which gives us 1,500 requests per month in these premium features, which is really, really interesting. So if we want to compare it properly, we can see that we have $20 for Pro and Cursor, and we have $60 in Pro Plus. Now in GitHub Copilot, we have the $10, and then we have the $39. So it's a bit confusing, I know. And lastly, for Kiro, we have the $0, we have the $19 and the $39. So this means that if we pay $19, we actually get 1,000 interactions, which is a lot. And $39 per month will give us, let's see, total limit of 3,000 interactions per month. This is really, really interesting. And GitHub Copilot will give us, for $39, we will get, we said 1,500 per month, 1,500. So this means it's double. We'd get double with Kiro. And now the question is whether the capabilities are good enough or not. Because, it's not just about the pricing. It's about how they wrapped the tools. So imagine that you pay this amount and then you should pay per token, and then you get to 1,000 or 3,000 interactions even quite quickly if you work on real life, real world projects. And I think that if we take Cloud Code pricings as an example, let's see the pricings. The pricing for Cloud Code, there you go, it was the first one. We have the $17 that gives us, this is not, this is the pricing, the regular one. Now, the thing is that we can actually use our Pro subscription with Cloud Code. So this could be really, really a nice observation. But if we use the $100 bill, then we get lots of requests. Now, the thing is we need to understand which one we want to use, because we have Kiro, which is cool, and we have Cursor, and we have Copilot. All of them allow us to use the same LLMs usually. So this means that each agent actually just wrapped the product in a different way. Like Kiro is wrapped, the system prompt is wrapped in a different way, Cursor is wrapped in a different way, and Copilot is wrapped in a different way. Now I found, and of course the Claude. Now I found that actually Claude Code writes really well and really fast. It's the fastest tool out there, but it has lots of errors at this point with connectivity. The API gives us 529 error code, which means we are overloaded. So this is a bit annoying because you work on a project and then you get stuck in the middle. It's annoying. Now Cursor doesn't have that limitations. You just pay a lot usually if you get over the monthly subscription. And this is why Cursor does really well as well with the agent. I think that Claude Code is number one in terms of developing quickly and successfully. And then we have GitHub Copilot, which does really well. Now, I noticed that GitHub Copilot actually does not speak a lot. It doesn't speak a lot. We don't like LLMs speaking too much. Now, GitHub Copilot actually did something really nice. It thinks fast, and it doesn't speak a lot, and it actually can identify problems really, really quickly. And we have the ask mode and the agent mode and the edit mode. And this is for a different video, but bottom line is each AI agent is good for a different task. So it looks like currently in terms of pricing only, it looks like Kiro and Kiro Plus, the Kiro Pro and Kiro Plus really offer competitive edge to others, but I think we need to test the quality, not just the pricing, because if it does really well, then obviously it'll be really good. But if it won't do well, then although we pay less, we will end up paying much more because we will do all the iterations and stuff. So bottom line is, for me, I'm using GitHub Copilot for asking questions, for understand the projects, and to modify features. And I combine it with Claude Code for developing. So the combination of GitHub Copilot and Claude Code currently works well for me. And sometimes I also use Cursor when I get stuck with a 529 error I get. But besides that, I think that Kiro is an interesting product to test by AWS, by Amazon, which also has their agent, like this Q developer by AWS. I wonder if this is something they use in the backend. Anyway, this was my review on Kiro. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you think, and I'll be happy to see and read everything. So thank you so much for your time.